my symbol of peace by helping this video achieve the like goal. Full details at the end of the video.
Hey guys, how you doing? This is Manga, etc. and I'm here today to bring you What If Bakugo got the One for All Part 4. Like I always say, if you need a recap or this is your first time here, go back and watch the previous parts so you know exactly what is going on, so there is no confusion on your part. This part will be covering the U.S.J Arc, and without further ado, I will now be diving right in. Next day, we see reporters outside UA trying to get the scoop. News that All Might is teaching at UA now, and the reporters are hungry for information. Eventually, a Razorhead comes out and tells them that All Might is off today and that they should go away. A Razorhead heads back to the main building, and as the reporters try to follow, the UA bearer activates. Some of the reporters are unfamiliar with it, so the others explain it to them, letting them know it's a bearer that locks down the whole school from anyone who tries to approach without a school ID or visitor's pass. In the background, an ominous figure can be seen. Back in class, Razorhead is praising everyone on the successors of yesterday's battle chart. He does also mention to Bakugo to grow up and stop wasting his potential. After that, he goes on to say they need to decide on the class presidents. Everyone was expecting the Razorhead to announce something more heroish, but all are willing to take on the role. Not after too long, Ida suggests that they should vote to see who gets to do it, so they do so. This is where a change occurs. With Deku not present, a different class president is decided. Having bonded a little during class yesterday and part of the journey home the same day, U.S.J decides to vote for Alexis. Ida, on the other hand, votes for himself. This means to begin with, it is 2 votes each for Momo and Alexis. Another round of voting is done to determine who out of the 2 will become the president. Alexis wins this by 1 vote. Also to note, Bakugo voted for Momo as he doesn't like Alexis, as he still feels like he lost to him in yesterday's class. Over lunch, Bakugo is eating alone. Kirishima and Denki join him. After a few minutes of them trying to get Bakugo to socialize, Bakugo gets up and walks away. Kirishima tries to get him to come back but has no success. Shortly after this, the alarm goes off. Not knowing what's going on, Ida asks what a level 3 alarm means, to which a third year student replies it means a break-in and that this is the first during his time at the school. Panic fills the lunch hall as everyone is trying to get to a safe place. From out the window, Ida notices the break-in is just reporters and there's nothing to worry about. President Mike and a Razorhead are keeping the reporters at bay while they wait for the police. With Uraka's help, Ida is able to calm down the situation inside, informing them of what he discovered. The police come and get rid of the reporters. Unlike in the original story, Ida doesn't become the class president. Alexis doesn't feel the need to give up the position after what happens. Back at the point of the break-in, the principal, accompanied by some of the other staff members, are suspicious over the break-in and consider it the start of something bigger to come. It is now Wednesday and time for another hero lesson. A Razorhead tells them that along with himself, All Might and another will be present for the lesson. He goes on to tell the class that today will focus on rescue training. He will also let them know that their hero costumes are not compulsory this time around. Everyone is excited for another hero lesson. Alexis gives U.S.J a scare as he approaches her in his hero costume with his mask on. "Whoa, anybody tell you your hero costume looks a bit villainous?" she says. "Never judge a book by its cover. I suppose I don't need this on yet," he replies while taking off his mask. "Better," he adds. U.S.J smiles as the class gets into the bus to U.S.J. Unlike in the original story, during the bus ride, to see you can't compare Deku to All Might. The convo had on board is light-hearted and allows the class to get to know each other a bit more. At the U.S.J site, the class meet 13. After, Razorhead asks 13 why All Might isn't present. 13 explains that he went over his limit and may show up later. With this in mind, the Razorhead decides to start the class. 13 has a quick introduction explaining his quirk, explaining how dangerous any work can be, explaining the importance of the quirk apprehension test and the battle trial, and what the takeaway from today's lesson will be. After the amazing speech, Razorhead is ready to officially start the lesson when a mysterious hole appears. As villains start to come out of it, Razorhead prepares for battle while telling the class to huddle up and telling 13 to protect them. Some of the students are confused and wonder if this is part of the training, but Razorhead assures them that this is the real deal. One of the villains states, according to the intel he received, All Might should be present, with another one stating, "No worries, I'm sure we can lure him out." It is very quickly discussed that although the U.S.J site has measures in place for intruders, they must be currently being jammed. They comment on the fact that this is a well-organized attack and the villains must have a serious objective in mind. Eraserhead tells 13 to get the class to safety before going on the attack. During his initial attack, we learn the limitations of the Erasure quirk and just how impressive he can be. As 13 tries to get the class out of there, one of the villains who seems to be able to warp is blocking the way out. He announces the League of Villains and that they are there to kill All Might. Not seeing All Might, this villain attempts to stop 13, however Kirishima and Bakugo attack. 13 warns them to go back, but it's too late. This villain warps the whole class, separating them all. With Alexis now taking the place of Deku, everything happens the same until he, Tsuyu and Mineta are aboard the boat. All Might, after failing to get through to Eraserhead or 13, decides he can muster up 10 minutes and is about to head out when the principal appears. He scolds All Might for not taking his responsibilities as a teacher more seriously before convincing him to forget heading to U.S.J and have tea with him instead. Although he doesn't voice his concerns to the principal, he is a little worried about the fact that he can't get hold of Eraserhead or 13. Shoji confirms that everyone from the class has been separated and spread out throughout the facility. 13 instructs either to use his quirk to get out of there and alert the main building of the danger that they are in. Ida is reluctant at first, not wanting to leave anyone behind, but after some words of encouragement from the class, he is willing to do so. The villain in the path hears this and tries to stop it from happening, but 13 attacks using his quirk. Back in the flood zone, Mineta is panicking, saying if these guys were sent here to kill All Might, there's no way they stand a chance against them. After that, while talking to Tsuyu and Mineta, Alexis is able to come to two conclusions. 1. They had intel on the U.S.J facility, and 2, they didn't have intel on the class's quirks. Alexis reckons because they don't know about the class's quirks, that's why they separated them and why they're being so cautious. They explain their quirks with one another. Mineta still ends up feeling useless there. A small change happens here, with Alexis making him feel better by saying all quirks have their uses, activating his quirk within Mineta. The villains get sick of waiting and split the boat in two. Mineta panics and throws his balls into the water. Because of his scaredy cat attitude, Tsuyu asks him why did he come to UA. Mineta replies it's normal to be scared in this current situation, considering their age and the fact that they are in a life or death situation. Alexis hears a female voice in his head. You would be a great hero. It's what you was born to do. Alexis tightens his shaking hands into a fist before addressing Tsuyu and Mineta. We can't beat them in water, so our best bet is to run. If we can draw them out to land, we can give them a better fight. To see, me and Mineta can't maneuver in water as quick as you. You're gonna have to carry us to safety. To see responds, I'm not sure if I can. She's a little worried about the numbers against them. Alexis reassures her, you can do this. You've already done it once, and besides, me and Mineta will be providing backup. Tsuyu is convinced and Alexis's quirk activates in her. Before the ship sinks, she grabs a hold of her two classmates, jumps in the water and swims off with her new strength and speed. The villains give chase but can hardly keep up. Also, in addition to this, Mineta has been helping, causing the villains to be stuck together and no longer to chase after. Shoto, who's on his own, has easily dealt with the enemies that was forced upon him and has left unable to talk for interrogation purposes. Momo, Kyoka and Kiminari are still easily able to deal with the enemies they are faced with. Eraserhead faces off with who he thinks is the last boss. It's commented on that he is starting to fatigue in this fight. That's when the true last boss appears and puts him down. 13 is also struggling in his fight. The pupils around 13 panic, but muster up enough courage to help either escape. Now closest to the area Eraserhead is fighting in, Alexis, Tsuyu and Mineta watch on in fear. In the collapse zone, Bakugo and Kirishima have no problems with their enemies. After defeating all of them, Kirishima suggests that they help their classmates. Bakugo says he's going after Kurogiri and explains why. Realizing that that's the smart thing to do, Kirishima decides to tag along. Kurogiri lets Shigaraki know that he has let a kid escape, to which Shigaraki is mad about and says if that's the case, it's time to bail. He also states before they go, he wants to take out some of the kiddies first. So he heads over to and attacks Tsuyu. Her, Alexis and Mineta are too stunned to move, but just at the last moment, Eraserhead erases his quirk. Alexis uses this opportunity to attack, which is blocked by a Nomu. Shigaraki is not impressed by this attack, but before he can order his next move, All Might arrives on the scene. Things with All Might start off like they do in the original story. He speed blitzes some enemies, saves Alexis, Tsuyu and Mineta, and tells them to take Eraserhead and head to safety before taking on the Nomu. Where the next change will occur is when Deku usually runs out to try and help All Might. With Alexis cheering All Might on with the rest of the class, All Might receives words of encouragement. The boost is enough to help him get free, but Bakugo, Shoto and Kirishima come to his aid first. With All Might now free thanks to help, again things will continue to play out like in the original story. Shigaraki will still order the Nomi to attack Bakugo, with All Might still saving him. All Might will still order the kids to fall back, and Shigaraki will still order Kurogiri and the Nomu to deal with All Might while he deals with the kids. Seeing All Might charge directly to the Nomu halts Shigaraki, who watches as All Might defeats the Nomu with a plus ultra. Now I think there would be a small difference within this fight. All Might boosted with Alexa's quirk makes for an easier fight with some left in the tank after. It is because of this when Shigaraki and Kurogiri pack up the courage to continue the fight, All Might is able to continue fighting until reinforcements arrive. They try to stop them from escaping but have no luck in this matter. With everything all said and done, All Might is able to run off and transform in private. Once alone, he would comment on the fact that he overdone it but would be dead otherwise. So Shigaraki and Kurogiri will make it back to their base where they report back to their master, telling him that they were unsuccessful and completely outclassed, also mentioning that they lost the Nomu. Their master will say they need to find stronger people to join them so it won't happen again. Shigaraki will have no reason to bring up Deku this time around. So the police arrive at U.S.J. We learn that all the students are okay. All Might will be okay too, but he just needs some rest. The only two in need of serious medical aid are Razorhead and 13. The police also find and capture the Nomu. The principal will comment on the need to upgrade the security systems, and the detective will comment on wanting to search the school. All Might still goes to the nurse's office of his own accord. While there, he thinks to himself that his time limit is probably shortened now. His detective friend still comes to see him and asks some questions about what happened, but All Might wants to know how everybody else is first. He lets them know that everyone is okay except a Razorhead and 13, also stating that if it wasn't for the three of them risking their lives, things would have turned out differently. All Might clarifies that the students also risk their lives and that they will be fine heroes someday. 2 days later, a Razorhead is back in class to announce the UA Sports Festival is coming. So now that we have reached the end of USJ, without further ado, the light goal.
Alrighty, so let's talk about the light goal. So I was thinking if we can get 10 likes within the first week, then I will have the next part out the week after that. Just so there's no confusion, I have the dates displayed on the screen. So yeah, let's see if we can hit this like goal. Make sure you check the end cards for the next part, because depending on when you're watching this, it already may be out. Like always guys, I'm asking for your thoughts and opinions. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, but most importantly, take care, have a nice day.